Welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show. I am Mike. My man over here to my left is Marcus at Marcus the Freak on the Twitter. If you guys are into that kind of thing, Marcus, how you doing on this beautiful Monday afternoon?
I'm doing pretty good, Michael. I don't think I could have um, taken it if the Golden State Warriors had won a fourth championship in 5 years. So I'm feeling fabulous. I mean, I might have stopped watching basketball for a while if that would have happened. But
That's
so
all
yeah, I'm
us,
feeling great. It's like a relief. And now I don't really, I'm not a big Toronto Raptors fan. I mean, I'm not watching the celebration. I just didn't want
right?
Golden
Yeah,
State to win another one. So I'm
anybody
feeling
but
really
them,
good.
right?
Oh God, yeah, anybody but them.
Well,
So
guys, if
and
you
I know they're
guys,
not going to win it. I know they're not going to win it next year. So I'm good. I'm feeling even better.
well, you never know. You never know.
No,
But
no, no. They're not. They're going to struggle to make the playoffs next year.
oh, strong words from a strong man, Captain Insano. If you guys don't get that reference, you have to watch The Water Boy. But nonetheless, big things happened this past Saturday and Sunday in the sports world. For the first time ever in a NASCAR race, somebody got disqualified after winning the race because they failed the post game inspection. Uh,
Oh,
this is the first time ever in a Kentucky Derby. The horse that won the race got disqualified. This is the summer of first, man. So there's four first things that have happened this summer, and another first for all of us. The AD trade saga finally has concluded. AD is going to LA for Lonzo Ball, a couple other picks, and they had three first round picks over the next 3 years, including the 2019 fourth round pick that the Lakers held. So first of all, Marcus, does this make LA a favorite to win a title?
well, look, next year is gonna be it's gonna be a it's wide open. I mean, with now Golden State gonna struggle to make the playoffs next year. This is everybody's year, the 2020 season. Who's gonna be the 2020 champs? There's about 16 teams. I'm being honest with that have a chance to win a title because there's no Golden State. What's going to happen with Kawhi Leonard? Is he going to stay with Toronto, or is he going to go to the Clippers? That would make the Clippers the favorite. Yeah. So the Lakers have as good a shot as any. What I like about the deal, um, is they were able to keep Kuzma. The Lakers were able to keep Kuzma, and that's huge. And then they still have a lot of cap room, so they could fill that cap room up with a bunch of really good players, or they could go out and get a Kyrie Irving. But I don't think they're going to get Kyrie. I think he's going to go to he's going to go to New York or Brooklyn. But they could sign Kemba Walker. And I'm gonna tell you right now. I mean, they just have to fill out the roster. I mean, they could easily, and if they stayed healthy, and that's a big if, man. Anthony Davis hasn't been the most healthiest of players since coming into the league. So, but yeah, absolutely. If Kimba is still standing at the end of the season, LeBron James is going, and Anthony Davis is going, and Lonzo and excuse me, Kyle Kuzma's there. He's going. Man, they've got as good a shot as anybody to win a championship. Absolutely. So this thing's wide open. The problem with the Lakers right now is they've got like they got 4 or 5 players under contract or something. And so they've really got to start filling out that roster with a lot of the cap room because um, they can't just take a bunch of scrubs, and then all of a sudden, be in the title because Anthony Davis and LeBron James, like I said, they're injury prone, and as good as they are, they still need talent around them. So, yeah, to answer your question, they can win it. They're in contention. They are title contenders, and but a whole lot of people are. It's not like they're special. The Spurs are title contenders. The Nuggets are. Portland's going to be a title contender. There's a bunch of Philadelphia will be depending upon who they bring back. I mean, like I said, I could name 16 teams that could win this whole thing next year because of what happened at Golden State. Klay Thompson's not going to be there for most of the year. He may not look the same. After coming off his ACL injury, he may be a little tentative and stuff like that. He may not be the Klay Thompson everybody's going that you're used to seeing in the playoffs. Durant, I don't think going to play the entire year, and so I'm going to tell you right now, the Warriors are going to struggle to make the playoffs next year with Draymond Green and Stephen Curry. And if they offer these guys, if they offer Klay Thompson and they offer Klay Thompson, they offer Kevin Durant the max contracts like 200 million or 190 million. They're gonna have they're gonna have to rely on the Jonas Jerebkos and Quinn Cooks, all those guys, and they are gonna struggle to win 45 games next year because more teams will do that box and one on Curry, just like Toronto did, and it's gonna be fun to see Golden State struggle and see if they can make the playoffs. And if they do, it'll be a 7th or 8th seed. So I just don't see Golden State, take the year off, and this is a wide open thing. And yes, the Lakers are in it. Everybody's in it, and it's going to be interesting to see how if the Lakers get Kemba Walker.
Yeah, everything you said there is pretty much hit the nail right on the head. I think anybody that makes to the playoffs next year has a legitimate shot of going to the finals, i.e. winning the finals 1 through 8, like 8 seed, because this is the first time in, I don't know, 10 years that it is going to be wide open if Kyrie stays in Toronto. Now, if Kyrie decides to go somewhere, obviously, just like you said this past week, that power does divert to that team. So if it's LA, I mean, obviously LA is going to be the favorite. If he stays in Toronto, Toronto's going to be the favorite, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just some notes that I've read about this KD trade. If the trade does not get finalized after or before June 30th, the Lakers cannot sign a max player contract. If they sign after June 30th, they can bring in a max player contract. I'm not for sure how that works. I'm no salary cap expert by like any means, but that is just what I've heard and like reading on a article on CBS Sports actually. So basically, it is going to take some playing nice with New Orleans for the Lakers to be set up to bring in a max player contract, meaning they need to wait till July to finalize this trade. And if they do that, they can bring in a max player contract. They can bring in, a Kemba, or maybe even pursue Kyrie, which I think that would be a match made in heaven. You have Kyrie, LeBron, and like AD all on the same team, kind of what they had down there in Miami with Bosh, Wade, and LeBron James. So these next few weeks are really going to play out the whole NBA season of this next year, and it all kind of falls on New Orleans' shoulders. Like, do they want to play nice? Because if you remember, not even a month ago, the owner of the Pelicans said that she didn't want to deal with the LA at all, and they had to have a third team in this deal. But now all of a sudden, whoa, hey, here's the same offer we offered you back in, what was it, January or whenever this first deal happened.
The trade deadline in February, whatever.
And she said no. So is KD is AD that upset in New Orleans? Like, he wants out that bad, So something must be going on there.
No, and I think the Lakers will play okay with the they'll give the Lakers what they want. The difference in the deal, I think, Dell Demps was trying to consummate that deal like in the trading deadline in February. Now David Griffin got the deal done. I think Griffin got more first-round draft picks than Dell Demps would have got, and they're going to swap picks, I think, like in 2023 or something. And then they have they got an extra first-round draft pick, I think David Griffin got out of the Lakers. So we'll see what happens. I think everything's going to be fine for Lakers. And then, Kemba Walker, he said he would play for less. He might not, sign for the max, even with the Lakers. I mean, he might sign for like $20 million under. I wouldn't. I'd hope they get that thing done. And the Kemba Walker thing's real interesting because, even after LeBron James leaves, I mean, you can move forward. You'd have Kemba Walker, or you'd have Kyrie Irving, and you'd have Anthony Davis as your two, pieces that you can build around. So I think, it's as good as the Anthony Davis trade is. That's they got to get another young player in there, like 26, 27 years old, like Kyrie or Kemba, to run this show. They lost Lonzo Ball, and they lost Hart, so they have to get a point guard in there. So Kemba or Kyrie Irving, and you combine it with Anthony Davis for the future. So you have your big man and your point guard. So this is really important for the Lakers to get Kemba Walker or Kyrie Irving here in the next few weeks.
Right,
and they had to get this deal done before draft day too. We'll touch on that. Yeah, we'll touch on that in a minute. Kemba Walker and Kyrie Irving, very important to the Lakers' future, to the right now and to the future.
Yeah, and just some food for thought here, but when Boogie Cousins and AD played together in New Orleans and they started to click and learn how to play with each other again, they were doing pretty good things there.
Yes, they were.
They're both averaging 25 plus points a game, 10 boards a game, and the Pelicans looked like a team on a mission. Boogie Cousins is a free agent too.
Yeah,
I'm
and
just
Boogie Cousins came out. Boogie Cousins came out last year and said, they didn't ever offer me a deal.
Yeah.
And so he took the $5-point-something million deal with Golden State. But Alvin Gentry and Dell Demps quickly said that wasn't true.
right.
That they didn't offer him a 6-year deal, like a long-term max contract, but they offered him a 2-year, $40 million deal, and he turned it down.
Yeah. So
that's big. So that he just lost $35 million there. I think he's an idiot. I mean,
Yeah.
why would you not want to play with Anthony Davis? And then Anthony Davis would still be there, and y'all could be doing some things. And Julius Randle probably would have opted in. So that was a great front line. And I don't know why, I don't know why Boogie Cousins would turn down a 2-year, $40 million deal with New Orleans. But hey, he went, he chased the ring, and he came up short. Thank you.
the only thing I could think of in that whole situation is he knew that AD was upset being in there and
Okay.
and then like what better way of getting out of a situation is he happened to have gotten hurt and then he had a chance to play with the Golden State and then he knew AD was on his way out as well. So he goes to a new team. He signs a 1-year deal and then he can go to that team as well. So I mean like they have been friends for a while. So it wouldn't surprise me if Boogie Cousins ends up in a LA Lakers uniform come start of next year.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't shock me at all. And also, I've heard that the Spurs and Popovich are going to talk to Boogie Cousins about their $9.5 million exception. So it's possible Boogie Cousins could sign with the San Antonio Spurs with the $9.5 million exception.
How would you feel about that?
I feel great about it because
would Cousins fit well there?
Yeah, people, they'll think, oh, how can he get along with Pop? Boogie wants to win, man. Boogie Cousins is a competitor. He wants to win, and Popovich likes those kind of people.
Right.
So it might be a match made pretty well there. And Boogie Cousins is like all the players like Greg Popovich. I mean, he's a liberal intellectual that's always on the side of the players in terms of politics and whatnot. So all of them love Popovich. And there's something out there where it shows Boogie Cousins and Pop hugging and like talking about life and stuff and. Yeah, and he's at the Olympic trials, Boogie Cousins. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that Pop would like Boogie Cousins to come to San Antonio, absolutely.
Yeah, so you being from San Antonio and following the Spurs for a long time here, like, obviously, like, just besides of the things that you named there, like, I have never heard of a player ever hating Pop, even though, he pushes you to be the best you can be and strive and like and all that stuff. But I'm really surprised that no player has ever came out and publicly said that he hated Popovich or had an issue, which is really surprising to me.
No, I mean Pop's a straight shooter. People like being BS'd. People don't like being BS'd, and the players can see through that.
Yeah.
And Pop never BS's you. The exit interviews, he tells you, hey, look,
you suck.
We might be looking to move you here because you're not doing this. You have to do this, and you have to get better on this. And so this is how you can stay in our program. If you want to be moved, call. I mean, there's no guarantees of anything with Popovich. He's a straight shooter. People like Bill Parcells, kind of the same way, a straight shooter, man. And people and plus, like I said, he's and from on the political side, he will always take the player side, and so they love Greg Popovich. Even like Kawhi Leonard, he said, man, he likes Pop. He's cool with Pop. I mean, and you think, well, why don't a lot of big-time free agents come to San Antonio, right? Popovich is great, right?
Right.
It's because of, they don't want to live in San Antonio. You know what I mean? Like, in other words, it's the mom and pop city, although San Antonio is now the 6th largest city in the nation.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's still considered mom and pop. So, but I'll give you an example. If Greg Popovich coached the Clippers, right?
Right.
He'd have to turn free agents away. He'd have to tell Boogie Cousins, nah, man, I already got Kimba and LeBron and
you can come here for $3 million a year.
Yeah, I already got all these great players, man. He would be turning all-stars away because unless y'all want to sign for the minimum.
Right.
But so that would be if Pop coached the Lakers or the Clippers, man. they'd be clamoring to get to Pop. But you know, he's in
I've
San Antonio.
always I've always like thought in my head like, what if like the Olympic team was a team like the LA Lakers or something like that? Would everybody hate them like they hated the Golden State team?
Sure, you don't.
Like
Yeah,
say like I don't know, Kyrie, AD, LeBron James, Steph Curry, and I don't know, Kawhi all joined forces
yeah,
in a LA team. I mean,
yeah.
like those are probably the five most popular players in the NBA. Get ever take. Do you think they would be the most hated team ever?
Yes, they would because no, I mean, who likes all those stars joining up on one team and making it unfair, dude? Like that's just crazy. You already know the outcome of they're gonna win the title.
Yeah.
That's what makes the Golden State Warriors when Kevin Durant signed with them. It's a punk move. You already knew they were gonna win the next two titles. And what did they do? They took out LeBron James in 9 games, 2 years, 5 games in one, and a sweep in the next one. They just destroyed LeBron James and his team in 9 games. Of course they were gonna do that.
Yeah,
I mean, anybody saw
it was
that coming?
LeBron James and Love. I mean, it wasn't a very good team, but it is what it
No,
is.
but it wouldn't even matter even if it was a good team. Like
Right.
in other words, yeah, Kevin Durant signed with a 73-win team. That's ridiculous, and that's what makes what Golden State's doing now ridiculous. They're gonna pay to keep those four players, including Draymond Green. They're gonna pay over the next 4 years $1.6 billion, and they're gonna be like their cap next year is gonna be 380 million, 3 or 4 times as much as the regular cap is, because they're going to pay dollar for dollar on the cap. That should be completely unfair, man. You shouldn't. They shouldn't be allowed to do that. It doesn't make any sense, man.
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
there is no point of having a salary cap if you can exceed it by 300%. So,
yeah, it's stupid. I mean, it makes no sense whatsoever, man.
but
I mean, I was like, okay, that's why you're hated.
exactly.
I mean, it's just, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
couldn't agree more.
stupid.
But speaking of salary cap here, the draft is next Thursday. What, 10 days away? Maybe a little bit more, maybe a little less. 11 days away. There we go. 11 days away. With everything that happened with the AD trade, the Pelicans now have the number 1 and number 4 overall picks. Marcus, what is your draft 2.0 looking like now that everything has settled?
It's looking pretty good. These things are really hard to predict. I mean, who knows what's going to happen? We do know Zion Williamson and John Morant are going 1 and 2 to New Orleans and Memphis. We probably know the Knicks are going to take RJ Barrett. So the draft starts at 4, and that's where the pick got traded. And so this is very interesting stuff here. But if you're New Orleans, you're going to have Zion Williams, Lonzo Ball. You think about Jarrett Culver in that situation. You know, he's a potential DeMar DeRozan type all-star player, but a better three-point shot shooter than DeMar DeRozan. That's a guy that's in play there. I wouldn't shock me at all if they took Jarrett Culver. But I still think DeAndre Hunter is going to go 4th overall. Here's a guy that's 6'7", with really good athleticism and can shoot the rock. I mean, those guys don't grow on trees. This guy can guard anybody in the NBA right now today, except maybe like your Jokic's and people like that. He can guard Clint Capella because Clint Capella is not a great scorer. He can guard Steven Adams too if he got switched on Steven Adams. Steven Adams isn't some great guy post down there with this array of moves. The only guy DeAndre Hunter would struggle guarding is a guy like a Nurkic, maybe in a Jokic. People like that actually have moves in the paint. Other than that, listen, DeAndre Hunter can guard all 4 positions, just about everybody. And so I would still take New Orleans. If I had that pick, I would go ahead and pass on Jarrett Culver, the better offensive player, and I would take DeAndre Hunter. Spot up shooter. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's could be like is a Bruce Bowen type, but a better athlete. Can go to the basket and dunk on you. Bruce Bowen couldn't do that, but DeAndre Hunter should be the New Orleans draft pick. And the only other player I could see going there, if they want more offense, is Jarrett Culver. So either one of those guys, I have DeAndre Hunter there right now, and New Orleans at number 4. Man, and if you think about that, New Orleans, if you can get out of this draft with Zion Williamson and DeAndre Hunter, damn, that's pretty good. I mean, or Zion Williamson and Jarrett Culver, that's pretty good. So New Orleans is in a good spot right now. Also, they could trade that pick, the 4th overall pick. Maybe they're not in love with Jarrett Culver or DeAndre Hunter at all, and they trade that pick and get the 8th and 10th picks from Atlanta. And so they get 2 really good players right there instead of just 1 really good player. That's possible too. So now Atlanta comes up and takes Hunter, or they take They take Jarrett Culver to replace Taurean Prince. Atlanta let Taurean Prince go to Brooklyn, and so there's a little void there. So that's a good possibility. You know, Atlanta moving the eighth pick and the 10th pick to fourth, taking Culver to replace Taurean Prince, and then now New Orleans moves back to 8 and 10. So that would be a possibility as well. But if New Orleans just stands pat right there, it's going to be DeAndre Hunter or Jarrett Culver.
Yeah, Culver is a good pick. But Darius Garland also seems to be a pretty good fit there as well. I don't know if he will jump up into the top five. I believe most people have him right now projected going to the Suns. I think that's where I had him on mine. Let me look real quick. Yeah. I had him going to the
he's going to
the Suns. But the only thing that the Pelicans are really lacking after they get Zion is a true post player like a 5. So with that 4th overall pick, I kind of like what you said there. Why not trade that pick, and move down in the first round a little bit and get 2 more picks, so you can get a true number 5, because that is what they'll need to really move forward in this 2019-2020
right.
season.
You're 100% right, Michael, because you move down to 8 and 10, then you can get Jackson Hayes from Texas at 6'11", and then you can get Cameron Reddish to replace Taurean Prince.
Yeah, so
Cameron Reddish, a great shooter. So you can get 2 of those players instead of 1. Yeah, so absolutely. If you're New Orleans, I'm looking at all those options too. And 8 and 10 sounds really, really good. I don't think Darius Garland's going to New Orleans there. New Orleans still has Drew Holiday, and they just got 2 point guards from the Lakers, Hart and Ball.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're pretty stacked there. Lonzo Ball's going to love this, man. Lonzo Ball's a good player, man. I mean, people like to crap. I don't like LeVar Ball, but I like his son Lonzo.
Yeah.
Like, Lonzo's a guy, he's 6'5" kid that can, if you're a shooter or a post player, I want Lonzo Ball to be my point guard because I know he will find me on the break. He'll find me in half court. Lonzo Ball is, walking like 6'5" Magic Johnson talent. He's a guy get you triple doubles. He will. And so he's not going to be the great scorer. We're talking Lonzo. I'm going to tell you right now, Lonzo is the starting point guard for New Orleans next year, and he doesn't get hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Lonzo will have about 20 triple doubles. And they won't be like the 30 points and 10 rebounds. No, his triple doubles are like 13 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. It's the low end points on the triple doubles. That's what he'll get. He'll get a lot of those.
Yeah, and I'm also I've been scrolling through my mock draft here, and I forgot that Philly has a lot of picks happening in this first round too. They could even trade further down, to the 22 range. I believe that's where Philly starts picking, 24 range,
Yeah.
and they could get some pretty good players down there too. They got, PJ Washington from Kentucky. He is a true 5, but he could also jump out and shoot the 3, kind of what like AD did a little bit. So the real question in my head is, do they want a player like AD, or are they going to totally change the offense around and be a focal point around a Ball or a Holiday or something like just like that? Like, what kind of offense are they going to run? So
I think they're going to run and gun. When you have Lonzo Ball and you have Zion Williamson,
mm-hmm.
and then you add these different players to the mix there. I mean, they're going to be young, exciting. They're going to want to move this basketball, and they're going to want to get up and down the court. To your Philly point, Philadelphia, they picked 24th in the draft. You're right, and they could lose Jimmy Butler, J.J. Redick, and Tobias Harris. So all they have is Simmons and Joel Embiid. So it's going to be interesting to see who Philly keeps. What's going to happen there. So I have them losing Redick. Redick could be going to the Lakers. I think
he's gone.
Yeah, I think Redick could go to the Lakers, and that LeBron James and Anthony Davis need a shooter like J.J. Redick. So that's a possibility. And so Philadelphia, I have them taking Ty Jerome from Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
A guy that can shoot it. Maybe not as good as Redick, but he's right there. But Ty Jerome creates better than Redick does. Ty Jerome is like a point combo guard, point 2 guard. So this guy can create and he can shoot it. So that would be a good pick for the Philadelphia 76ers. Ty Jerome out of Virginia with the 24th selection there to replace JJ Redick.
Yeah, and just to go back to your Pelicans point there, if you think they're going to run and gun a lot, you have to take Hunter because you need somebody that can steal the ball and get it out to like Zion, right? I mean,
absolutely.
That would be a perfect pick.
Yeah, so, and then he's also a knockdown shooter.
Yeah, we saw.
So after he steals the ball, look, this is what he steals the ball, gives it to Lonzo, and then Hunter runs to the 3-point line or he runs for a dunk.
Right.
Whatever their offense wants to do, yeah.
And that would be very exciting to watch.
Yeah.
Next year, to be totally honest. So as of June 17th, 2019 at 2:30 p.m., Marcus, what is your top 10 draft looking like in players?
Zion Williamson and John Morant, RJ Barrett, obviously 1, 2, and 3. The draft starts at number 4. That's where New Orleans picks. We talked about them moving down. It's possible. I might move down. I mean, that's very intriguing to go, and then I'd have the 8th and 10th picks for New Orleans to get the center like you wanted, and I'd grab Jackson Hayes there at 8, and then I could end up with a Cameron Reddish. But right now, with the 4th pick, New Orleans has it. I have them taking DeAndre Hunter. I got Cleveland taking Jarrett Culver. Pretty much, Cleveland needs a scorer like that. They haven't had one since LeBron left, which hasn't been too long. But to go Colin Sexton at point guard, Jarrett Culver would be ideal with the Cleveland Cavaliers. That would be great. Chicago takes at 7th overall pick, takes Kobe White, 6'5" point guard. He's going to run and gun, one of the fastest players in the draft. If Kobe White ever develops a knockdown 3-point shot, like a deadly one, he can shoot it. Kid out of North Carolina, Kobe White, 6'5", he can shoot it. But if he ever develops into a knockdown shooter, like he might be special. So we'll see what happens there. Now we get to Atlanta's couple of picks in Washington. Atlanta, the 8th pick, I got them taking Cameron Reddish to replace Taurean Prince. Cameron Reddish, a hell of a shooter. That would be a good fit for him. Atlanta's got things going on there. It's really, really exciting in Atlanta right now. And then they got Allen Crabbe, so he's another one. They got Allen Crabbe from Brooklyn, and then they sent Taurean Prince there. So Allen Crabbe is a heck of a shooter as well. So, and you go with Kevin Huerter and Trae Young. I mean, Atlanta could lead the league in 3-point shooting next year easily with the addition of Allen Crabbe. And if they take Cameron Reddish here and go with Kevin Huerter, their last year's first-round pick, 17th overall selection, they're going to be a deadly 3-point shooting team. Washington, the Wizards, I have them taking Nasir Little out of North Carolina. He says he wants to be the next Kawhi Leonard. Okay, he can do that. Well, we'll see. Jury's out, but he's really athletic. He's 6'6". He can guard. He defends real well. He can shoot it. He's a great guy to have on the break. That's going to be really exciting. And if he's another one, Nasir Little going to Washington at pick number 9. If he can ever develop a 3-point shot, then you've got a heck of a player in your hands. These guys got to learn how to shoot it. And 10. I got Atlanta, and I've been a little mixed. I don't know which Gonzaga player. It could be take Rui Hachimura, a little bit better offensive player for Atlanta. But if they want to go better defensive player on that same Gonzaga team, I would take Brandon Clark, and to go with Collins there down low at power forward. That would be exciting. Either one of those players. Gun to my head, I probably would take, with the offense that they have, I probably would take Brandon Clark, because he's a defensive-minded player. So Atlanta's got all these great offensive shooters. You bring Brandon Clark from Gonzaga in your program at pick 10 to go with Collins down low. I mean, that right there, they can guard anybody. Collins and Brandon Clark can guard anybody in the NBA. Except, like I said, they would have little problems with the Jokic and Nurkic's of the world. There's only 2 of those guys, but they can guard anybody else. So Brandon Clark at pick 10 would be a great pick for Atlanta. And then they'd have Cam Reddish and Brandon Clark there at picks 8 and 10. I mean, Atlanta, they're moving on up. So there's my top 10 right there. And the draft begins really at 4, because I think the first 3 now are written in stone. There's no Zion Williamson, New Orleans. I mean, they can make that draft selection today. John Morant to Memphis, they can make that today. And I think RJ Barrett now has come out and said he wants to play in New York, and he's saying these things and all that. I think there's no way the Knicks fans would probably have, they probably riot in the streets if it's not RJ Barrett from Duke. I think the Knicks are going RJ Barrett there. And Darius Garland's funny. He's come out and said, hey, I'm the best player in this draft. Well, he's not the best player in the draft, but I'm glad he has that confidence.
Right.
But Darius Garland, to me, is a Kyrie Irving clone. go anybody out there listening, I want y'all to go to YouTube and I want you to go ahead and watch Darius Garland, and I want you to pretend he's Kyrie Irving, and you will see the same thing.
Well, after you go search that, make sure to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
But just the draft that I kind of mocked up a little bit myself as well. I do have our first 5 picks being the same here. Number 6 is where we get different. I think Kobe White will go 6 to the Suns.
Yep.
I think the Suns have a history of bad picks, and I don't think Kobe White fits there. But he's the best available player at that position. Like the best player available at that point. So the Suns are going to pick him, I think. And then I think Darius Garland then goes to the Bulls. And then this is kind of where it's kind of a long shot, but I definitely see it happening. I think Tyler Hero goes number 8 to the Hawks. I think he has a bigger upside than a Cam does, and I think Atlanta sees that as well. And then number 9, I have PJ Washington going to the Washington. They need a forward type of guy, and I think PJ and if John Wall stays there, like obviously I think that would be a great thing. And
Right.
then I have Jackson Hayes going 10 to the Hawks as well. So that's where we differ a little bit.
I see your picks though. I mean, those aren't anything out of left field. That could all happen. What you just said, I really had no problem with any of them. I think that's a little high for PJ, but I wouldn't I'm sitting there in draft night, ESPN.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked. PJ's a good talent. Tyler Hero runs off screens as well as anybody, even in the NBA.
Right.
I mean, that guy's going to be JJ Redick, but I think he's a better athlete than JJ Redick. So I think that Tyler Hero's going to, when the first mocks came out, Michael, like a long time ago, Tyler Hero was like in the 20s, right?
Yep.
And they even had like Ty Jerome ahead of him, but Ty Jerome is not the athlete Hero is, and in terms of running around,
right?
Like, Ty Jerome's a heck of a player, but Tyler Hero will be drafted Thursday night in a few days from now. Tyler Hero will be drafted ahead of Ty Jerome. He's a better athlete and just as good a shooter, if not better. Tyler Hero is a heck of a player, dude. He's JJ Redick 2.0, but a better athlete. So I can easily see Tyler Hero entering that top 10.
Yeah, like we've been talking about this draft, about it being, the first 3 are pretty much set in stone, and then the draft starts at 4.
Right.
Like I think from 4 to about 27 is you have to draft on potential, because those players can be intertwined any which way. But do you think Tyler Hero is going to have a bigger upside, or do you think Kobe White is going to have a bigger upside? So you have to draft on the future, not currently. That's what I think is going to be the biggest challenge in this particular draft.
Right. And just to answer your question, like a Tyler Hero and a Kobe White, I think I have Kobe White rated a little ahead of Tyler Hero, because he's just as tall as Hero, and he's actually a better athlete even than Hero. But that all depends. I mean, they're so even. If you needed a 2 guard, you take Tyler Hero. If you need a point guard, then you would take Kobe White. That's how even they are. They're even in draft grade.
Yeah, so guys, that is going to be it for today. Join us tomorrow as we go 10 through 20 on Marcus's draft here. Maybe we'll hear some other news coming out of LA. And if not, football season is what the Chiefs are 36 days away from training camp. So it's coming, guys. It's coming fast.
Yeah, no, this is football season. We're like 79 days away or something.
Yeah.
Man,
it's here before you know
it. Yeah, I can't wait. It's too long.
All right, guys. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Marcus, we'll see you tomorrow, man. Have a good day.
All right, Mike. Thanks.